So what is a variable, how to assign a variable, and how to do arithmetic operations in Python, either directly with variables or with a variable and value. So we can do all kinds of operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And then we also saw the relational, that comparison operators, like doing some condition checks, whether one number is greater than or not, equal to or not equal to, less than, greater than or equal to. So all these kinds of things. So any comparison will return a value, true or false, which is of Boolean type. So that is how comparison operators work. And then we have seen if statements. So how to write an if statement and then give the condition inside it. So condition, how will we give the condition? Using the comparison operator only. Like if a greater than 18, then do this. So that kind of conditions. And then if it is not satisfying, then we can use else statement using the else keyword. So using the else keyword. And then if there are multiple uh, levels of conditions that we need to check, then we use if, elif, and then else. So like this, we have seen through the like if conditions also. So how to write a condition based on the need, like whatever the program we are trying to achieve, based on that, we will write the condition. Okay. So today we are going to see what is an F string, and then what is a list in Python, and then how to access that elements from the list using their indexes and some other methods or the functions that are available for the list, and how to calculate the length of a list, and how do we use the loops. We will introduce the loops concept also, and then we will write some simple programs using lists and loops. So first of all, what is an F string? So F string means it is a formatted string. That is the full form. So what we will try to do is we will try to format a variable. So let's take an example. So let me create a Python file. So 04 F string. So let's say I want to print a message. Print, hello, Teja, welcome to Python class, right? Simple. But here we have hard coded everything. But I want to pass this name from outside. I don't want to hard code here. And I want to pass the course also from outside. I don't want to hard code here. How to achieve it? How can we pass? By using the variable we have seen, right? So we will store the value of name inside some variable. And we will use this variable name instead of directly hard coding. So in order to achieve that, we will use the F string. So what is the syntax of F string? F followed by double quotations. Without F, it is a normal string. If you just put F before that, it will become a F string, formatted string. And whatever the value variable name we have to pass, we have to enclose it within the clever brackets. So that is the syntax. So instead of giving my name directly here, I will introduce clever brackets, and then I will give name, and also at the beginning, I will give F. So now this string not only takes the direct value like the hard coded string, it will take the variable values also. So now if I print this or the execute this program, it is going to print like it will resolve the variable value and then print it using this. So this is the F string. So what is the advantage? In Python, we always deal with variables, right? So, and if we want to include those variable values in our output messages, then we will use the F string. So now how to pass this course also from outside? Simple, right? We can create a variable course and give the value to it. Now instead of giving this here, pass the variable name. How to pass variable name? Not directly. If we give like this, it will not identify. It will consider it as a direct value itself. So we have to give clever brackets and then give this so that this F string will understand, okay, this is a normal direct value, but this one is a variable value. So I want to get this value from here. So that is how it will understand using the clever brackets. That is the syntax. At the same time, so first let us execute this and see. So now we can see the both the variables are resolving correctly. Like this, we can put any number of variables. Now, what happens if I remove this F? Now, this whole thing becomes a string, normal string. And if I execute it, that resolving will not happen. It will think this also has some value, like direct value. It won't look for the variable value. It will directly print like this in the same way. So this F is must to get the variable value. So that is the F string. Now let's see some basic examples. So let's say there is an employee and we want to print employee works in so and so department. So here how many variables are there? Two variables are there. Employee is one variable, department is another variable. So let's type employee name equal to name of the employee and then give the department. Give some value. So now print it. The message I want to print is Teja works in engineering. So first one should be variable, last one should be variable, and then we have to do it. So how can we do it? Using the F string. Double quotations start and begin. So first the variable name, which is the employee name. You give the variable name. Works in. We will give the department. And then just say department. So Teja works in engineering department. So this is how we can give the F string. So likewise, we can write any number of examples. So we can write more than one also. So let's say I have three variables. So I want to print, John works in some whatever department and his salary also, and he earns so and so per month. So that means there are three variables. How to build it? We will take three variables, employee name, and then department, let's say some finance, and his salary will be 50,000. So if you notice here, till now we have seen only the string variables. Now we have given two string variables. This is what is this variable type? Integer. So because it's a whole number without any decimals, which means it is an integer. Now how to display this? Using the same F string. So print F string, double quotations, start and begin, employee, whatever that name is, works in whatever that variable name, which is holding the variable department value, finance department, and just give me a second. And hence salary is one more variable. Salary per month. So here employee name will resolve here, works in, this one will be replaced by actual value, department, and hence salary. So here department. Only this way, this one will be replaced because we have given the clever braces. Otherwise, this one is a normal string itself. So now if I execute this, it will properly resolve to the full message. So this is all about f strings, very simple. Just you need to understand the syntax, then we can achieve whatever we want, like output messages we want to display. Now, next we will look at the lists. So let's go to new file. Sorry. So what is a list? So let's say I am holding some country names, some 4 country names I am holding. How do usually define it? We have to store everything in a variable, right? So country 1 equal to, let's say Japan, country 2 equal to Switzerland, country 3 equal to Iceland, country 4 equal to Canada. So like this, we have 4 countries. I have defined them using 4 variables. But what if I have 100 countries? I can't define 5, 6, 7, 80, 90, 100 like that, right? So it will become very, very difficult to manage this kind of data. So that is why we don't define it like this. Instead, we define it using a list. So now what is a list? List is a single variable name. So everything will have a same variable, but inside the variable, we can hold multiple values. So that let us see. So let's go for places or countries, whatever. What. Instead of defining multiple variables, we are defining only one thing. And the syntax for list is square brackets. Now, inside the square brackets, I will simply define everything at once. Let me just copy from here. Second country name, third country name, and then fourth country name, which is Canada. So this is called as a list. So that means single variable name, but it can hold multiple values, not a single value. So here, single variable name, single value. That is a normal variable. But list is, it is a variable name is same only, but it can hold multiple values. And the syntax is within the square brackets, we have to given all those items. So each one is called as an item. And that item should be separated by comma. So that is the syntax. Okay, now I have, defined the list, how to print it. By default, we can print the variable name, just like how we print country 1, country 2, right? So similarly, I can give the entire list name. It will print the all the data. So let me execute. So this is how it will print. So here also it is including the square brackets to indicate that it is a list. So remember the square brackets is for list, and list is can hold more than one value, like multiple values. Now, let's say I don't want to print like this. I don't want to print the entire thing. I want to print only first country itself. How do we access it? So that is accessible by using the index. So what is an index? Here, how many items are there? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each and every item will have an index defined. So let me bring the notes again like this. So each and every item will have an index, and the index always starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. If we have 10 items, same 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till 9 because it is starting from 0, right? So always ends at 1 lesser because it's starting from 0. So here 4 items are there. So the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, not 4 because it's starting from 0. So just remember that. So always starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, and it continues so on, whatever may be the length of the list. So now how to access this? By in this way. So that is what we are going to see now. So let's say I want to print only this one. So instead of giving the entire thing, let me comment it out for now. Print. places of 0. So what this will means is in this list, look at the index number 0, which is nothing but this one. So that is how it is going to print. It will print only that specific thing. And similarly, shall we print the remaining items also? Places of 1, print places of 2, print places of 3. Now it is going to print each and every item separately like this. Now, just for trial and error purpose, let's give next one also, places of 4. What is the places of 4? There is nothing, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. There is no 4 index. Now let's see what will happen. It will throw an error. It printed all the first ones where index exists. The next one it is saying index is out of range. That means it does not even exist. This is the index error. So whenever you notice this kind of error while debugging or in your actual project, right? So you will immediately identify, okay, there is somewhere the index is, we are accessing something outside of the existing item. So in that way, we can debug. Okay. Now let's remove this one. Now, how to update the items? Now I have this one. This is place of 0, 1 and 2. Now I want to update this to some other country name. So let's say this is my wish list where I want to travel. Now I changed my mind. I don't want to go to Iceland. I just, let's say I want to go to New Zealand. Now I want to update this list. How to update? Directly, we know how to access, right? Places of, how to access this particular one? Places of 0 is this. Places of 1. Places of 2. So places of 2, simply assign it a new value. That's it. Let's say Norway. Now, how do we know whether it got updated or not? We can print the entire list, right? Simply by using the list name. So before updating, let's print the list. And after updating, let us print the list. Now we will know what is the difference. So this is the initial list, whatever we have assigned here. Now I have updated the places of 2, which is nothing but 0, 1, 2, this particular place. I have updated to some other value. So that got updated and the new list is like this. So this is how we can update any one particular item in a list. Now let's say I want to add at the end of the list. How can I do it? One way, obviously in this way. So this one not only for update, we can append also. Let's say if I give 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So if I give places of 4 equal to something, then also it will work. No problem with that. But while writing a program, if we are writing big programs, we don't have to calculate index every time. Okay, I need to calculate the index and then I have to give the last value. So instead of doing that, there is a method or a function which is available to us by using which we can add a new item into the list only at the last place, not in the middle, only at the last place. So how to do it? So let's say there is this places list. Now I want to add, let me bring this one here. So I have a list. Now I want to add one more, right? So let's say I want to add, I don't want to replace Iceland with Norway. I want to add Norway also in the end. That is achieved by using the append function. Places.append. What we want to append? A new item. And that item, what is that item? Norway. So in this way, so what is the one? Okay. So in this way, we can add an item. So before appending, let us print the places. And after appending, let us print the places. So initially, this is what we have defined. Now, after this, we added one append, but we have not specified which position to add. That we cannot do with append. It will always add in the end of the list only. So just be aware of that. So in this way, we can use the append function and add. Now let's say I want to remove one item. So I added Norway. Now I want to remove Switzerland because I already visited it. So I don't want to go there again. So now let's remove this. So there is a list, and from this list, I just want to remove the Switzerland. That means any one item basically. So places dot remove. That is the function. And what we want to remove, we have to pass that value. So now again, let's print the list before removal, and let us print the same list after removal. So initially it will be same list. Now the Switzerland is removed. Only the 3 items should be remaining in the list. Like this. So like this we can append, where we can append it to the end of the list. Whereas removal, we can do it from anywhere in the list. We just need to give that exact name. Now, I have a list. There are so many items, some items in that, right? I want to find the length of this list. That means length is nothing but how many items are there. That is called the length of a list. So how do we get it? Again, there is a function in the Python that is called as length. Length means length. Short form is length. So what length we want to find the length for what? This list. So you just call like this, it will display the length. So in order to see this value, just put it inside the print statement. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it will display 4 as the length. So just notice here, if you are looking at index, then it is 0, 1, 2, 3. But if you are looking at the length, it will calculate 1, 2, 3, 4. So just be aware of that distinction. So length will not say 3. It won't start from 0. It will start from 1, 2, 3, 4 items are there. It will go. But index always starts from 0. So that is a minor distinction. Now, again, let me remove this. Let's take this list again. So now I want to find whether an item already exists in the list or not. So how do I find that? I already have a list. Now I want to find whether Iceland, this particular item or any one item, is present in the this list or not. So how do I do that? That item name, whatever we want to give, in places. So that means whether this particular item is in the this particular list or not. So what is this? This is more like a comparison operator, right? So we have seen greater than, less than. Similar to that, this one is another operator which is specific to lists only. That is called as in operator. So that's why you can see this particular color. All the keywords are displayed in this orange color. So now what will it return? Either it will return true if this item exists, or it will return false if the item does not exist. So how to see that? Just put it inside the print statement. Now Iceland in places. Is the Iceland is there? Yes, it is there. So this is true or false? True. That is exactly what the print statement will return. Now let us give some other value which is not present in this. So let's say America. It will return false because this is not there. And this one is case sensitive. So it is string to string comparison, right? Always it will look for the case also. So if I give Iceland, if I give Iceland, that will consider it as false. So this is how we can check whether an item is present in the like in this one or not. So now let's do some simple example. So I usually take real-time examples only. I don't give like A, B, C, X, Y, Z, something like that, so that it will be easily understandable. And that is how we write the new program, like real programs also, right? So let's say there is a Netflix watch list, which, I have to, which I'm maintaining basically. So I want to print that watch list length, how many shows it is in my watch list, and I will add one more show. Then how many shows are there after adding? So that's how I just want to print the length of that watch list. So in order to maintain this watch list, the name of the shows, right? So which is the perfect data set? Should we go with multiple strings, or should we go with integer, or should we go with list? So this is the thinking we do before writing a program. So watch list is nothing but a list of all the shows names. So it is the best, easily, like the direct best data set is go with list. So list means we can define some variable. List is defined with this one we already saw. Now add our shows into this watch list. By default, let's say already there are some things in my watch list. So let's go for Money Heist. So these are the three shows in my watch list. Now I just want to print the length of my watch list and see how to do that. I don't want to simply put len of watch list. I want to put some F string like formatted so that when the user sees it, they will understand instead of looking at the number. So I want to give message like uh, you have 3 shows in your watch list. That is the string I want to give. So how to achieve that? Obviously, we need to go for F string. You have 3. That 3, how can we get it? By using the length function. We have seen that, right? So within this one, len of watch list shows in your watch list. So only one variable. This is the only variable. So that is why we have wrapped it inside the flower brackets. And the value, how can we get it? If we simply put watch list directly, it will display this whole list. I don't want the names. I just want the length only. So that's why we have kept the len of watch list. So you have 3 shows in your watch list. Now let's add some new show. Watch list dot append. So or there is some new show which is famous. Yeah, let's add from. Now into these 3 shows, this one goes and add it here. So total 4 now. Now I will display the exact same thing again. Now it will say you have 4 lists. So initially there are only 3. Now I added one more show. Then there are 4 shows in your watch list. So this is how we use the list. And then this is how we perform the operations like append. And then this is how we use the F strings. So not only direct variable, we can display like this also. Len of watch list also, ultimately it will give something, right? So that's why we wrapped it inside the flower brackets. Okay. Now let's go into loops. So basically, what is a loop? Loop means a set of programming instructions will multiple times, not just once. So far what we have seen, whatever the program we have written, this conditionals, operators or lists or whatever, it executes each statement only once. This one got executed one, this one got executed one more time, this one got executed once, and then here. So the program flow starts from this line because all these are commented, right? So let's leave them. This line and this line, this line and this line. In case if you have if conditions, there also it goes one time only. So let's say if this is satisfied,
this will be executed and remaining will be skipped. But there is no repetition of the execution of statements. So in order to do that only, we have these loops. So loops are like most important thing in the programming. So in loops, there are two aspects. One is knowing the syntax, how to write this loop and all. Second is knowing when to use this loop, how to use this loop logic in order to achieve our whatever we are trying to write the program. So both the things are there. So first thing, obviously easy. We can learn the syntax, but in order to get the second thing, you have to practice. That means like slowly start with simple loops and then slowly, practice little bit advanced loops. Loops as in the programs, which I will be giving you. For today, I'll give only simple loops only. So when you keep practicing, you will automatically understand, okay, here I need to use this loop. So I'll immediately go with this. So things like that, it will come only because of practice. Okay, so now let's take another file, 06 loops. So what I did in the earlier thing, I have taken a list and list has some items. So if I want to display the entire list at once, I have given print statement directly. So let's see that how I have given. So let's take some list, open roles. So open roles basically job roles, right? So let's take some values in this list. Python developer, AI engineer. So if we go to this right side, then we can simply insert comma and press enter. That is also accepted in the list. It will still be considered as the same line. Let's say cloud engineer, data analyst. So now I have a list which has 4 items. It is called as open roles. Now I want to print this one. How can I print? Print open roles. Obviously it prints the list, so everything is good. But I don't want in this kind of format. I just want this value only for all the cases. How can I print it? Using the index, right? So print open roles of 0, open roles of 1. So open roles of 0 means this one. Open roles of 1 means second item. Now how to continue in the same way? Print open roles of 2, which is the third item. Then again 3, which is the last item. So I'm printing this. So I don't want that format. I want this format where I just want the name only. So I have gone with this. But here the problem is I'm just repeating myself the same code again and again. So I'm saying print open roles of 0, 1, 2, 3, all those things. So instead of repeating like this, I can write a loop where it will automatically traverse through all these items and it will print those. So how to achieve that? For that, there is something called as for loop, FOR, for loop. So using for loop, for, I want to give some variable name, role. So on which list I have to loop? I have to loop on this list. So I'll explain the syntax, don't worry. And what I want to do? I want to print the item. So what did we do here? For is a keyword. So that means we are using the for loop. And we are using this for loop on this list. This list. And in this list, when we use the for loop, what will happen is first time it will pick up this value and assign this value to this particular variable, whatever we are giving here. Here we don't need to give role. You can give A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever. But we usually give the role so that it's easily readable. If somebody looks at it, they'll understand. But here we have to give the exact name because we are looping on this list. Now let's see how this loop works. There are 4 items, right? and we are saying for role in open role. So open roles has 4 items. That means this print statement is going to be printed 4 times. Even though we have written only once, it is going to be printed 4 times. So how will it know it is 4 times? Because we have given the list and internally it will check the length of the list. Okay, the length is 4 times. So I have to repeat for 4 times. If I add one more entry into this, one more item, it will like loop for the 5 times. So that Python will take care of it. We don't have to worry. From our side, we need to give the list name. So there are 4 roles and we are giving this list of 4 roles. So for each and every role, it is going to print this. And that each and everything is called as iteration. So that's the technical term, or you can simply call it as 4 times it is looping. So when it comes for the first time, so let's remove this. So initially the order of execution, how the program flows. First, a variable is defined and it is a list. So by looking at the square brackets, it will understand it is a list and list of 4 items. Okay, the variable definition is done. Now here it comes for loop role in open role. So okay, I need to do the looping for 4 times. For the first time, this value is taken and it will assign to this particular variable, whatever we have given. Now, in the second line, what we are doing? We are printing that role. What is the value of role? This one, because we are in the first loop. Okay, this one is completed. Now, the program will go back to the for loop again. So this is the looping. After this one, let's say if I write end of program, it won't go here. It will go here only. Second time, it will take this value assigned to role and we are printing whatever it is in the role, because second time it will be this particular value. Now, did we reach the end of the list? Not yet. So again, do one more loop. Third time, take this value, assign to this variable, and we are printing that. So this value will be printed. Are we at the end of the list? Not yet. So again, do the loop. So in the fourth loop, take this value, assign to this particular variable, and we are simply printing that variable. So 4 times it will repeat, and fifth time also it will try to repeat, but it will check, are we at the end of the loop, end of the list? Yes, we already covered all the 4 items. There is nothing more. At that time, it will come out of the loop and then it will execute the next statement. So that is the program flow for any loop. So now if I print this, so this roles 4 times got printed. It looped over it 4 times. Why 4 times? Because the 4 items are there in this particular list. And finally, once this thing is completed, then only it came out and then printed the end of program. Now, let's see some interesting thing. Let's say by mistake, I have given like this. Then it will consider this statement is also within the for loop only. So that's why it will print again and again. It has printed 4 times, right? This one and this one, and again one more item, and no. So like this it will print. So that's why we have to always maintain the indentation. So whatever we are keeping in this one, like with this space indentation, that all those statements will be considered under for loop only. So not only single statement, we can keep multiple statements also. So this is about loops. How can we loop over the list? So in this print statement, I'm simply printing the role. So instead of that, I can do a F string also here, right? So I can give the F string. So let's say I just want to print open position before, instead of simply printing the Python developer AI engineer, I just want to add some F string. How can I do that? F open position. So role is a variable, right? So just include it in clever brackets. So same concept, instead of displaying the variable directly, we are using the F string. Now in this case, it will loop like this and then it will display the values. So here we have done the for loop over a list. So what if I don't have a list? I just want to loop over some particular number of times, I like 5 times or 6 times or whatever. So how to achieve this? So that we are going to see next. So here the for loop syntax is, let's say I want to repeat for 5 times. Then there is something called as range. So earlier we have given the list name. Now we will give the range. Both are same, like exact same syntax. So for, we want to give some variable name to hold the number. Earlier we gave the variable name to hold the item. Now we will give some variable name to hold the number. In is common, and then we will give range of 5. So this is the syntax for repeating for a set number of times. We are not repeating over a list. We are repeating over set number of times. How many times? 5 times. Just print that number. So here we are not doing anything, just printing the number. Let's see what happens. So this one will repeat 5 times, but it won't start from 1. It will start from 0. So just like how indexes start from 0, for loop also always starts from 0. And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 5 times it will repeat. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It still repeated 5 times, but the starting number is 0. That's why it is ending at 4. So let's say I don't want to start from 0. I want to start from 1. So for that also there is a possibility. We just have to give the starting number also in the range. For number in, earlier we gave only 5. So that's why it default started from 0. Now I will say start from 1 and end before 6. So then if we print the number, it will start from 1. Beginning index is inclusive, so it will start from 1. Ending index is exclusive. That means it will stop before 6 itself. At the 5 itself, it will stop. So this is also one more tricky thing. So beginning index is always inclusive, so it is included. Ending index is exclusive, so it won't be included. When it reaches the end index, it won't print. It will come out of the for loop and continue with the next set of instructions. So where will we use these kind of things? So let's say you have you want to generate ID number. There are some 30 employees. Then how can you generate ID number? So just loop over it, right? So let's say you want to start from 1. So for employee ID in range of 1 to 6. So we don't start from 0. I will start from 1 and let's say it's 20 or whatever. Let's say I have 20 employees, then I have to give 1 to 21 because 21 it will exclude. And then print f string employee ID. I will just print the ID, whatever is inside this one. So now if I execute, all the employee IDs are generated starting from 1, 2, 3 with a single statement. So that is the power of this loop. If you want to do the same thing using a one by one statement, like it's definitely not recommended and not at all performant, right? So that's why we always use the loops for any kind of repetitive tasks. So now let us see how to take an input from the user. Let's go to new file. So till now, let's say if I want to send a print message with my name, what I was doing, I was giving name equal to Teja and then printing. Welcome to the class, and that name I was giving here. Obviously, I have to give f string. So everything is good, but I don't want to define it here. I want to take this value from the user so that whatever the user gives, based on that it will display. How to achieve it? There is something called as input. Enter your name. When I give this input function, first it will display this value and then it waits for the user input. So user has to enter something. Whatever the user enters, it will come and store in this particular variable because we are giving the equal to. So whatever the user enters from the console, it will be passed on to this variable and it will get stored in this variable. And then if I display this value, it will be displayed. So let's see how it works. Now, as you can see, it printed the statement, enter your name, but it is still executing. It is not stopped. It is still executing, as you can see here. I want to enter the input. Now this input is passed to this particular variable and here we are printing that using the f string. Now the advantage of this, I don't have to define the hard coded strings here as a variable. I can get whatever I want. So this is the dynamic input. Whatever the user gives, we can take it. Now let's say execute again. Let's say somebody else. Now it will still work because we are taking the input from the user dynamically and that one we are passing and we are making sure that it is working fine. So now let's take inputs from the user and then print it, right? So let's take all the 4 variable types because that is important. Each variable type, how it behaves, we will see. So we are already taking the name. Now let's take name is nothing but a string value. We will pass a string, right? So string is covered. Let's take some one integer variable age equal to input, enter your age. So this is an integer variable. Then let's take for decimal, let's take salary, input, enter your salary. So here I'm expecting some decimal or let's take experience. Enter your experience and let's take some Boolean value is employed equal to input. Are you working currently? So this one I want user to enter true or false. So that's why I'm specifically indicating in the message itself, enter true or false. Yeah. Now I have 4 variables. So initially I will just print before doing any operations. I will just make sure the values are getting properly passed. So first it's asking my name. I given the value and pressed enter. Now it came to the second input statement. Now it's asking me age. I will give value and press enter. Now it's coming to the third input statement. It's asking my experience. I'll give some 15.5 and press enter. Now it is asking me the final input statement. Are you working currently? True or false? I'll give true. So all the values, whatever we entered, went to the specific variable name. And then we are printing here all these things. Now, this is a string, integer. This is a floating point. That's what we have given, right? So let us see what is the type of it. So let's print here itself type of name. Then I want to print type of age. Then I want to print type of experience. Then I want to print type of this particular Boolean variable also. So I'll just keep some print statement so that in the print statement we will be easily understanding, like there will be a line difference between. Now I'll give the name, age, experience, and currently working or not. As you can see, regardless of what value I'm entering, it is always taking a string. So that is the important thing. Whenever we take input from the user, it will always consider it as string only. So whether you entered this boolean or this one or that one, it is always considered as string only. Now, let's say I want to perform some operation. So I'll remove this. I want to perform some operation. If age is greater than 18, print you are eligible for employment. Okay. I just want to print this. It won't work, right? Because even though it's 25, it's coming as string. Now you can see greater than not supported between string and integer. What does it mean? This side it is a string. This side it is a integer. But you can ask, okay, I gave only 25 as input. How can it is be string? So how it will take is, it will consider as like this. So 25 as a string. So it's not as a number. So that is how it will consider. So whenever we input from the console or whenever we read from the file, which we will see in the next classes, whatever we do, it will always consider it as a string. Okay, then I want to do this comparison, right? Then how can I do it? So for that, there is something called as type conversion. So here I'm getting some string, but I'm expecting an integer value inside it, which is a age. So what I can do is I can simply put it into integer. So this is called as type conversion. So here I will get this value. Uh, so in this input, I will get this value. Which value? Within quotations, I'll get 25. Now this one I'm converting it to integer. What it will do, it will simply remove it, the string specifics, and make it as a integer so that we can perform this operation. Now this operation will go fine. So I'll give this and this one. So now this comparison happened because we are converting it to integer. Now this one is also string. How to convert it into the floating point value? So simply by using the float. Now this one is also came as string, but I want it as a boolean. How to achieve it? Simply by giving the bool function. Now all the things are perfectly aligned. So now if I print the type, so first I'll print the type of name, and I'll print the type of age, and then experience, is employed. Let me give the values. So now you can see they are properly aligned because we are explicitly doing the comparison. In this case, I didn't do any comparison because I'm expecting string value only. So I'll store it as it is. So I'm good with that. But here I'm expecting integer value. So I'll move it to integer. Here I'll convert it to float. Here I'll convert it to boolean. So likewise, we can get the input from the user. And similarly, we can use the type conversion to make sure that every, the value we are getting is properly converted into specific type. So why we want this conversion, as I mentioned, right? So I will do some operations. I'll compare the age. I'll, increase the experience. I will do some if conditions on whether they are employed or not. So for all those things, they have to work properly, means I want them in the specific data types. So that's why I'm doing the conversion while getting the input itself. Yeah. So I think that's all for today. So any questions in today's class or from the yesterday's concepts, anyone can feel free to ask. Okay. I think the recording will be sent out later, and similarly, we will share the notes also. There are some simple exercises which I have included. Yeah. So create some travel bucket list, which is similar to what we have seen, right? So just add some 5 countries, create a list, and then add some more countries to it, and then remove some other countries, and then after that check the length. Keep checking the length after adding how much are there, after removing how much are there. So even though these examples look simple, these are must for practice because we are in the beginning phase now. The more you practice as we move to the advanced concepts, it will be very easy for you to follow. And similarly, one more thing for movie watch list, same thing how we did, but do it using a loop. Don't do it like print all those things one by one. And then let's consider some hiring dashboard. So take some basic list, consider as hiring page, and then have all those positions sequentially using an iterator block. That is the for loop. So using the for loop, just print all those positions. What are the open positions? And finally print the total number of positions also. Use f string and then give the statement along with the len function. So yeah. Okay. Okay then. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.